Welcome ladies and gentlemen, it is Targran, and once again it's time for more lore of League of Legends. And so here it is. The lore behind Caitlyn, the Sheriff of Piltover, and Vi, the Piltover Enforcer. Enjoy. Piltover used to be a dangerous city. The amount of valuable resources, unique texts and all sorts of technological devices collected in one place made it a great target for plunder. Not only the city was rich, but absent-minded scientists often ignored such trivial matters as crime, theft or destruction. Their great ideas could not be obscured by the petty work of some ruffian. Ignorance of the problem has caused the problem to grow slowly, eventually turning into a great issue. Some even speculate that Piltover would be completely overtaken by organized crime, if not for the unexpected emergence of Caitlyn. The girl had been born as the daughter of a wealthy statesman and famous Hextech researcher. Her childhood was easy and carefree. Her parents provided her with everything they could, but Caitlyn wanted to pay them back in some way. She was merely 14 years old when her father returned home bloodied, his clothes dirty and cut. He had been assaulted on the way home and robbed of everything he had with him. The following night, Caitlyn grabbed her father's rifle and snuck out of her house to track those who had been assaulting her father. She tracked them down and brought them to justice, retrieving everything that had been stolen. When she returned home, she was met with harsh reactions from her parents. They did not want her to follow that way and did everything they could to discourage her from pursuing those dangerous hobbies. That didn't stop her in any way, shape or form though. She kept sneaking away while her parents were asleep to fight crime under the cover of night when she could hide her age and inexperience. Her parents finally accepted their daughter's choice. Unable to change her mind, her mother started crafting numerous technological devices suited for Caitlyn's very specific needs. Young Caitlyn quickly gained notoriety and respect of fellow citizens, as she was defeating crime in Piltover without anyone's help. Her extraordinary tracking skills have led her to hideouts of bandits where they felt safe. She hit when they did not expect that, and were not prepared for a visit from Caitlyn. But she was not only known for her achievements and fight with crime. Caitlyn had quickly turned from an average girl into a beautiful young woman, popular amongst men of the city. Caitlyn has paid no mind to their advances, however. She had more important tasks to attend. As long as someone was troubling the scientists at Piltover, she could not rest. She never backed down from a challenge or an opportunity to improve her skills. From a young girl with a lot of courage and luck, she turned into Piltover's sharpest shot, a true sheriff of the city, who would not allow anyone to get harmed on her watch. Soon Caitlyn had become famous not only in her own city-state but across all of Valoran. Under her protection, Piltover's crime rate has vastly dropped, making it one of the safest cities on the continent. Other cities, however, still needed someone like her. Caitlyn had been contacted by Demacia and asked to help track down a mysterious outlaw that had been troubling the city-state for a long time. He's become known for his daring high-profile heists, and he's always left a single card behind with nothing but an ornate letter C on it. Tracking the man has quickly turned into Caitlyn's biggest challenge, and he has become her private arch-nemesis. She looks for every bit of evidence she can find, following each trail but so far without results. Even though she's already had him within her grasp, every time he is struck, the cards he left behind were slightly different. It always suggested where he would strike next, but there was something more to it. Something that Caitlyn could not figure out. She was in Demacia, discussing her progress with a constable, where news came from the guild hall of the Artificers Guild. A student from the city has wandered into the senior artificer's office looking for the man and instead found nothing but chaos, like someone had searched the room and ran through the open window. The security reacted immediately, looking down the whole building and sending someone for Caitlyn. She'd arrived at the scene as soon as possible, but there was no time to waste. She was listening to the report from the chief of security, but she paid no mind to it. Instead, she was more focused on one of the guards. He was looking suspicious and kept watching her carefully, like he was worried about something. At first she ignored him, but later decided to approach the man and ask to explain his behaviour. Before she could reach him, he started running away, and she followed right after him. Up the stairs, through the empty corridors and up to the rooftops, Caitlyn did not let him escape that easily. She had him within her reach, but she was still behind. But it wasn't until they reached the rooftops that Caitlyn realised that he had planned it. He had a line prepared for his escape, and she could do nothing to catch him. She grabbed her rifle, took aim, and watched him fall from the rope before the bullet should have hit. She ran down to the streets looking for him. Everyone had confirmed that they'd seen the man falling down into the alley. Everyone saw him, but the Resilience alley where he fell was completely empty. No body, no blood, and no signs of anyone being here before. She almost had him, but he had run. Caitlyn understood that she needed to be even better to catch this man. She had to spend more time perfecting her skills. Like many before her, she had chosen to do it on the ultimate proving grounds, the League of Legends. Vi is very different from Caitlyn. Her brash attitude, abrasive humour, and complete lack of respect for any form of authority might be associated with her shady past, but it's hard to deny how useful Vi's skill set is when it comes to fighting crime in Piltover, even if the woman tends to cause more trouble than most of the criminals themselves. She was never given the luxury of growing in a happy family. Hailing from the lawless outskirts of Piltover, young Vi had to find a way to survive on her own. She quickly learned how to rob, cheat, and use her young age to gain profit. She could be seen all over Piltover stealing smaller Hextech devices and working on them on her own. By the age of 6, she was a crafty mechanic who knew better than to trust another man. She could rely on no one but herself. When a gang of young criminals had learned about the girl, they'd offered her to join the group. She was smaller than most of them and could get into places where they would never fit. That could be useful during heists they often performed, and Vi accepted the offer. It was always nice to have someone else covering your back in case something goes wrong. By the age of 12, Vi was already an experienced criminal, with many heists on her record. She's always thought about herself and nothing more, but one day something started waking up in the young girl. Her crew was raiding a mining facility and something had gone wrong. A few explosions had shaken the mine, trapping a group of workers underground. Everyone wanted to run away, but Vi stayed behind. She found the ruined mining construct and severed its hand off, quickly trying to turn them into power gloves that she could use to punch her way through the cave-in and free the miners. She fixed the gigantic gauntlets onto her hands and, punching with all her power, managed to secure a way out for the miners. After that achievement, she gained the gratitude of many, but her gang was not happy about it. They had to part ways with her, and Vi was left alone once again. But this time she had a new ally. She decided to keep the pair of gauntlets she grabbed in the mine and began working on improving them. Every day she spent some time tinkering on the gloves and eventually making them into more powerful, deadly weapons she could use. She's returned to the life of crime, but she never stole from fair, hard-working people. Instead, she set her target on other criminals and their hideouts. She stole from them, taking advantage of a fist that allowed her to simply enter any building she wanted by punching a hole in the wall and stepping right in. She was in the grey zone between law and crime, pursued by the lawkeepers, but also hated by thieves and bandits of the city. It was not a surprise when Caitlyn managed to track Vi down. She came to the woman's hideout, but instead of arresting her, she'd given her an offer. She could join Caitlyn in a fight with crime and repay her debt to society. For Vi, that sounded like a perfect offer. She could keep beating the living hell out of every criminal in Piltover, but without cops chasing her around the city. To this very day, Caitlyn hates herself for making that decision. Vi is impossible to control and takes every order as a mere suggestion. No one can force her to obey any law. She does even have trouble with respecting such basic matters as privacy or not destroying property of others. If those two manage to work together, however, not a single criminal could feel safe, even if he's hidden between the solid walls of a building. And Vi herself? Well, she's not too concerned about Caitlyn or anything else for that matter. If any problems occur, there's only a solution to it. Punch it until the problem solves itself. And if it doesn't, you just need to punch harder. And that's all we prepared for you this time around. Let us know if you like this video by pressing the like button, leaving your feedback in the comments section below, and sharing this video around. If you enjoyed this one in particular, feel free to add it to your favourites as it helps us out a great deal. And as always, I'll see you next time.